Welcome to the Mashup.
Tell me whether I'm wrong or right. East or west, up or down, side to side. I sit to stand and fall to fly. Of all of my impulsive plans, popping, locking, salsa dances on demand. I follow leading off the map, stop the chatter, scream happily.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Welcome to the mashup. Welcome to the welcome to the mashup.
Welcome to the Mashup.
So a weird thing happened this week. Well, lots of weird things happened this week, but the one I'm going to talk about specifically, it's not the first time this has happened. But apparently, I don't know who was lining it up or what the deal was, but there's a referendum rally May 1st, or at least there was going to be, with a bunch of big names. You've got Bruce Pardy, Cameron Davies, Marty Blanger, Keith Wilson, Michael Wagner, Jeffrey Rath in Edmonton at the legislature on a Thursday at 11 a.m., which is an odd time to pick something. But here's the other thing, is that Bruce Pardy says, I don't know anything about this event. It's been added without my consent. I do not know the person organizing it. I won't be there. And then Keith Wilson jumps in and he says, me too. Now, I have had people just go ahead and announce on Twitter that I'm going to be at events. I know Sean has had similar things happen to him too. And this doesn't help anybody. This just makes us all look like a bunch of idiots. And so you have two possible defenses here. One, you're absolutely fucking retarded. Or two, you're a bad faith actor. So from now on, whenever something like this happens, I am going to assume that you have been paid by the Liberals to try and sow division within any sort of Western autonomy movement, and that you are a bad faith actor and that you have sold out your province for 30 pieces of silver.
Let's go.
Am I wrong?
Mashup 153. I'm here. No bad faith actors on this side. I don't think Twos is either. I mean, I look at it and I talked to Keith Wilson. He brought it up to me and I was like, oh, yeah, I hadn't seen that. And then obviously Bruce Pardy was just on the show not that long ago and he sees it as well. Am I delayed a bit, Twos? Or am I just...
No,
I'm good. Okay.
You're
Good.
retarded.
Wow. That's me on a good day. I'll take it. That just added to the list of names that people want to call me. Good morning, people. 153, 17 days away from live election coverage.
It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. We were just talking about how many Red Bulls were going to be drank during the live election coverage. If this continues, we need to get some kind of sponsorship. And to be clear, if you're listening and you happen to work at Monster or NOS or some other rival energy drink, I will totally whore myself out for this. You send us a few flats of whatever energy drink it is that you're trying to get more exposure to, I will drink them all on the mashup. Live election coverage.
Here's something cool for you. We have a person who does not want to be named covering the tech for the day. They're giving us money to help support it.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's
an anonymous
cool.
donation.
Correct. And a sizable one. Like not like $2, like a sizable donation to cover our map and all the tech in the back. Literally reached out to me. He's like, what do you need for this? And I'm like, no, I don't. And he's like, nope, don't want any fanfare. Don't want any, acknowledgement of it. And I was like, okay, well, I'll charge you, X. Appreciate the donation. And he sent me double what I'd sent. And it's covering the tech for the day. And I'm like, you guys are all awesome. You realize that? All you wonderful
very
people
much so.
are amazing. And that's why I'm like 17 days away, 17 days away. And we are going to be live all freaking day long. We've had a lot of fun on our live streams, but Mashup federal election coverage is not going to disappoint. We're going to be here all day long. We're going to make sure that we go coast to coast. We're going to make sure we bring in people from all over the place. 153. I hope your Friday morning is going well. Mine is I got lots of time for this Friday morning.
Every single election coverage we've done so far, it's going to be that on steroids.
Correct. Now, sitting here this morning with all you fine folks, let's make sure that wherever you're sitting, okay, let's have a good morning, folks. Let's have a great morning. Like, share, include us in your offshore tax haven, okay?
Yeah.
So let's burst through the old shadow bans this morning. Let's get through.
Algorithmic
Everybody just
oppression.
keep tapping that retweet, keep tapping whatever it is, share with a friend, remind people. It is Friday morning. It's the best day of the week. Happy Airborne Friday. Jamie Sinclair is coming to the studio next week, too. Yeah.
Nice.
Him and Chuck. I'm excited. Going to have the boys in studio next week. A little military roundtable action. So to all the military men out there, happy Airborne Friday. And then Coot 6.5. You know, we go from high to the Canadian justice system. Ex-professor avoids jail for sexually assaulting colleague at work. Quoted, this is the judge quoted, for so many reasons, I think you'd do poorly in jail. Your privileged life has prepared you horribly for what you'd face if you were incarcerated. So they're not.
That is a nice way of saying that his butthole is going to be traded for 2 packs of smokes and an hour in the yard.
So they gave him house arrest.
Yeah. We're not going to send you to jail, because if you got sent to jail, the same thing that happened to the woman, the same thing you did to that woman would happen to you. And we don't want to do that. Personally, I'm all for that guy being somebody's little binky.
Yeah, And then here's another one. This one in BC, family dumbfounded after BC home invasion suspect released on bail. That's 32-year-old Robin Nicholas Wakeling. He's facing 7 charges, including assault with a weapon and uttering threats to cause death or bodily harm and breaking and entering. He was literally uttering, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you," over and over again.
Well, luckily he's not a man of his word, which is fairly standard for criminals.
Meanwhile, south of the border, I like this one.
Well, no. We got the Iraqi Uber driver first.
Okay, you want to get a married Iraqi Uber driver who assaulted Ontario passenger wanted lighter sentence to stay in Canada?
Yes. Well, and to be fair, staying in Canada lately has been a punishment in and all of itself.
You're not wrong.
I mean, you go to the judge and you say, "Look, if you find me guilty, I'll have to leave this 4th world shithole and go to a 3rd world shithole." And they'd say, "Oh yeah, that doesn't make sense. We need to punish our criminals. You have to stay in Canada now."
Meanwhile, south of the border, an American man who developed an online relationship with an Edmonton teen and groomed her for over a year before whisking her away to the U.S. and subjugating her to horrific sexual abuse has been given a 50-year prison sentence. The decisions against Noah Medrano, who was handed down on Tuesday in a court of Portland, Oregon, almost 3 years after the girl was located and Medrano was arrested by FBI agents at a hotel in the state.
Yeah, so he locked her in the trunk of his car.
Correct.
Snuck across the border.
Correct.
From a place that would give him bail and probably a parade.
Correct.
To a place where when he gets caught, he's going to go to jail for the rest of his fucking life. It says at the end that he's going to be, if and when he does get released, his day-to-day goings-on will be supervised, and it could happen when he's in his 90s.
Yeah. So just 2 different systems.
Honestly, I feel as though if anybody from our Border Patrol is listening, if anybody is trying to traffic people they've kidnapped into the
States. Let them through?
Yeah, you just let them through. Just don't stop them. Just be
Make
like,
one phone call.
Yeah.
Could you pick this car up a mile down the road? That might be a smart choice.
He just left Canada, so even a kilometer would be fine. A kilometer down the road. Come on in. Yeah, everything's fine.
There you go.
Here you go. Please carry on. Have a great day. Whoop, whoop. 50 years.
Not a bad idea, Tiz.
And meanwhile, we've got people getting lighter sentences because they'll get deported for the crimes they committed.
or because or facing lighter sentences because of the treatment they would receive in prison.
Because they're just ill-suited for prison life. That's the whole point of prison.
All
And
right.
Meanwhile, in Coots, they got 6.5 years.
Yes. China. Mark Carney has refuted claims that he met with Jiangsu Commerce Council of Canada. The pro-Beijing group has since, at the behest of the Liberal Party, deleted its post claiming high-ranking representatives had an in-depth meeting with him. This is after a whole bunch of things broke. Globe and Mail had a story about it. They're distancing themselves from this.
Yes. Sadly, though, the internet is forever. Here is a picture of Mark Carney standing for a photo op with all these people he's meeting with. So he did do it. He did lie about it. To his credit, though, when he said you can't believe everything you read in the Globe and Mail, he was absolutely correct. Marty.
I know, Marty. I tried. She did not respond.
No response at all?
No.
Oh, that's a damn.
I know we were all sitting here on pins and needles waiting for Rachel to come in. I wish I could.
Really looking forward.
I'm not going to drag everybody along. She did not say yes. She did not respond. She who shall not be named shall not be on the show this week.
I'm just so incredibly sad.
Offshore, sticking with Carney, a $5 billion investment fund created under Mark Carney's leadership at Brookfield Asset Management was registered in the Cayman Islands tax haven, according to records attained by Radio Canada. That's in addition to two other funds totaling $25 billion that were registered in Bermuda, another offshore tax haven.
So, anyway, he's catching a bunch of hell over this. Because he worked at Brookfield, and while Brookfield was making money, they were setting up a bunch of offshore tax havens so that they could avoid paying more taxes. And everybody's talking about it like it's a bad thing. Look, first off, he has a fiduciary duty where he is legally required to do things for the betterment of the company. And if that includes setting up a complicated tax regime structure that allows them to avoid paying billions of dollars in taxes, he's legally bound to do that. And then the other thing is that there's no such thing as tax evasion. There's no such thing as a tax loophole. All you're doing is following the tax code. What they're doing isn't illegal. No one's going to go to jail for using a tax loophole. The loopholes are there because people like that donate a whole bunch of money to the political parties to say keep the tax laws complicated. This is the same discussion that Hillary Clinton had with Donald Trump during the debate, where he's like, yeah, I use the tax loopholes. You're the one who put them there. So if you want to get mad at it, don't get mad at Mark Carney or Brookfield. Get mad at the liberals and the conservatives who have kept these loopholes on the books for so long. But there is no loophole. It's not like it's illegal. It's not as though me not murdering somebody is prison evasion. It's not as though me driving the speed limit is like a ticket loophole that magically allows me to avoid getting fined for driving above the speed limit. You're doing things as the law permits. There's no such thing as a shortcut. You're literally just talking about the way to get there, the best way to get there. And we pay half of our damn money in this country in taxes. I look at what Mark Carney did with Brookfield in this particular instance, and I applaud him. Well done. Those soul-sucking bastards in Ottawa, which you're now one of, by the way, get enough of our damn money as it is. We don't need to be giving them more.
Sticking with Carney, after Liberal leader Mark Carney announced that Canada's future lay in prefabricated and modular housing, online critics have noted that the former company just happens to be a major player in modular housing industry. Quoted, prefabricated and modular housing will catalyze a productivity boom, he had said. And of course, then people have pointed out that Brookfield is spent 5 billion, in 2021 on Modular Group, a major manufacturer of modular buildings. And after zeroing Canada's consumer carbon tax last month, Carney unveiled a climate plan which promised to improve subsidies for heat pumps to make home heating more affordable. And in 2023, Brookfield spent another $5 billion acquiring HomeServe, a British home repair multinational that leaned hard into heat pump refurbishments.
Isn't that funny? I mean, imagine if you and I were running for political office and a big part of our campaign was a Mashup tax credit. People would look at it and they'd say, well, this is pretty damn obvious. They're doing it in a self-serving way, and they're putting their own personal interests ahead of that of the country. Because that's literally what it is. There's no crazy smoking gun here. He's holding it up and waving it around for the crowd to see.
Correct.
All right. What's the next one?
Do you want to show the video? I think we should show the video of "My government will not cut foreign aid." You want to show his comments on Pierre Poilievre? I assume most people have seen this, but to hear it, to see it, is probably a smart choice.
Yeah. All right. So this is his own words. This is why he paused his campaign, by the way. He didn't pause his campaign because he needed to fix things in the States. He pauses his campaign because every time he opens his mouth, more people say that he is an idiot.
Okay. So the short answer is no. We will. My government will not cut foreign aid, and we will be releasing our platform soon, so you can see that. That is a direct contrast to Mr. Poilievre, who will not just cut foreign aid, but taking his cue from the Americans, he will eliminate foreign aid. He will eliminate foreign aid to those most affected around the world, most punished around the world. He'll eliminate foreign aid by extension to the Middle East, to Ukraine as well. And he will use the money for other purposes, presumably for tax cuts, which is normally what he does when he cuts programs.
Hey. I don't even know where to go with this. What do you even say to that, Sean? You're like, well, the guy running against me, if you vote for him, you're going to pay less taxes and stop sending money to random fucking places on the planet.
I like Leanne Taylor. Carney just endorsed PP.
Yeah. Basically. And if you look at that video, for those of you listening along at home rather than watching it, he had this big old ginger with the big stupid beard. Like, first off, are there so few people who support the Liberals now that you have to have gingers in your photo ops? And secondly, if you're a ginger, why would you grow a beard?
More Carney. Quoted, if elected, my government will automatically revoke gun licenses for individuals convicted of violent offenses, including intimate partner violence. Well, you got to go back to 1985, where anyone convicted of violent, indictable offenses against a person is already subjugated to mandatory prohibition on possession of weapons.
So yes, if elected, Mark Carney will pass a law that has already been on the books for 40 years.
Correct.
This is exactly like when Rachel Notley said that if she got reelected as Premier of Alberta and if the NDP won in 2019, she would add a second highway to Fort McMurray.
I was thinking it. Marty said it.
Gingers have no soul. Makes sense they'd support the Liberals. You know what? When you're right, Marty, you're right.
Zoltan, our guest from last week. Here is Ben Perrin. He says, today, Mark Carney announced some specific concrete measures to enhance public safety. Research consistently shows harsher penalties don't deter. What does deter is increasing the probability of apprehension. This makes Carney's plan superior to Poilievre's. And then if we scroll down here to what Alex Zoltan, and if you weren't listening last week, Zoltan was on the show. He says the research you've provided, A, refers to another jurisdiction, the U.S., with entirely different laws, which Tooze has so eloquently pointed out earlier in the show, and B, does not address the uniquely Canadian phenomenon of radical catch-and-release bail policies. And I think that basically...
Well, that's the nail on the head.
Right.
When I was looking at it, and I was like, I'm going to make this specific point. I'm going to talk about this on the Mashup. And then I looked, and I'm like, Zoltan beat me to it. So, well done. Here's the thing, is if you get caught, and they say, we would really appreciate it if you didn't do this again. But there are no punishments other than that. And if you do it again, we will repeat our wish that you don't do it another time. Right? That's the
Yes.
context that's completely missing from that research paper. But this is exactly it, where if you take things out of context, you don't look at them critically. Well, hey, you know what? If I don't think about it for even a nanosecond, what the Liberals are saying kind of makes sense.
Here's more, Carney. So they have the horses
brought out
are back.
Stompy.
Yep. Liberal campaign event featuring or at a Mark Carney event. Here he is. You know, they got the police horses back out. So that should, remind us of a few times in recent history.
Yeah. And I think it's just crazy to think that our Canadian police forces are taking their marching orders or stomping orders or whatever it is from political parties. I definitely hope that doesn't happen with any other parties as we continue through this episode.
He was on a talk show, French talk show. He when asked, sticking with Carney again, when asked if he would stop buying American strawberries, Carney gives the most out of touch answer where he says, "I don't do my grocery shopping." He doesn't say that. You can bring it up.
Yes. So he says, "I don't do my own grocery shopping," which I actually kind of like. Well, I mean, we've had a lot of dishonesty in politics, presumably forever, but definitely for the last decade. And so for him to say, it's like back in the day when Kid Rock got asked about Napster. Like, well, how do you feel about them just stealing your music? And he says, I don't give a fuck. I'm rich. And so somebody's saying in French, blah, blah, blah talk, well, what do you feel about the cost of strawberries? He's like, I have no idea. I don't buy my own strawberries. I would argue that is a much better. No. I'm just going to say that is a much better answer than stumbling his way through drink box, water bottle sort of thing.
I think Tooze is endorsing Carney.
Well, as a Western separatist, I would say that yes, Carney winning everything east of Manitoba and nothing west of Manitoba and becoming prime minister again would be the best possible outcome.
I'm be right back.
Sean's got some reverb going on. He's reverbed. All right. What else do we got here, folks? Sean's gone, so I can say whatever I want. Now, here's something interesting. This is Mark Carney talking about a strong woman.
We just hit them again in the auto sector. We're fighting them on Fox News, which is what they understand. We're sending Doug Ford onto Fox News to show them that we're not messing around up here. And we're going to send Danielle next. Maybe we won't send her. We'll send Danielle. No, maybe we won't. We won't send Danielle.
So here he is mocking a strong female leader. The exact thing that the Liberals have been talking about we need more of forever. Catherine McKenna saying on and on ad infinitum that we need to have more female politicians. We need to run like a girl. We need more female representation. And then when we actually have it, we shit talk them. And none of the people who were talking about how whenever you make fun of a woman, that's why more women and underrepresented communities aren't more prevalent in politics. It's a damn shame that She Will Not Be Named isn't here right now, because she has been a fierce proponent of supporting women in politics and getting mad every time one of them gets shat on for completely unreasonable reasons. Remember when in like 2016, there was a golf tournament in, I don't know, Edmonton, I want to say, where they had a big picture of Rachel Notley's face on the long drive hole. The idea being that you could try and hit a golf ball at Rachel Notley's face. And that was condemned as being misogynistic. It wasn't the fact that she's a socialist idiot who was setting herself up to absolutely raise the Alberta, not R-A-I-S-E, R-A-Z-E, the Alberta economy for 4 years. It was because she's a woman. Okay? Well, now the exact fucking guy that you are all lining up behind to support is doing the exact same thing that you have been calling out every machismo podcaster and far-right male politician and all of this stuff for years. He does literally this exact same thing, and there's more crickets. There is a larger silence there than there is at an NDP rally. Because at the end of the day, you don't care about the thing, you care about your guy. And that's it. And that makes you a hypocrite and an asshole.
Is my mic back? Is my fine? Am I fine, folks?
You know,
we could just go full twos for the next half an hour. I'm good with it. I feel like it's fine.
Me too. I might just be like, and I'm still really mad eventually. But it was weird because you weren't echoing in my headphones.
Sean oozes machismo.
Well, I was just yelling and grasping at straws here.
All right, fair enough. All right, it looks like I'm good. I get thumbs up. All right, we're back.
Right, okay.
NDP. Can we change? We've talked a lot of Carney this morning. Hell, we've been.
I mean, there's still more to talk about Carney, but since we mentioned the NDP,
let's talk the NDP, shall we? Where do you want to start? You want to talking with welcoming home? Jagmeet welcomes NDP are not a serious party, folks. If you did not know that, I mean, just last week it was the porn star and pictures with the furries. This week, where do you want to start? Dr. Jen Gunter, is that where you want to start?
Yeah, let's do that. All right, so Jagmeet Singh talking about a Globe and Mail article. And as Mark Carney so famously said, you can't trust everything you read in the Globe and Mail. So, gynecologist. So, a doctor who looks at lady parts all day, a vaginacologist. Dr. Jen Gunter plans to return. Her name's Gunter?
It is.
Plans to return to Canada after raising concerns Trump is dismantling U.S. healthcare. And Jagmeet Singh says, "Welcome home, Dr. Jen Gunter." While Trump tries to dismantle U.S. healthcare, just know New Democrats will always fight to protect our universal healthcare system. All right, so he's talking about how Trump wants to dismantle U.S. healthcare, and it's bad. Let's go to this video, which he released the next fucking day.
Voters are saying no to Pierre Poilievre's plans to cut services and bring in American-style healthcare.
Oh.
Sandy, campaigning in Danielle Smith territory. Today, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh called Alberta ground. Alberta specifically. The NDP said they would also force provinces to ban billing for healthcare.
Right now in Alberta is ground zero for the privatization of healthcare, for the cuts to healthcare, for the Americanization of healthcare. It's
the Americanization. This is 8 days ago. He literally has multiple tweets talking about how bad and evil the American healthcare system is. And then he follows them up by talking about how mean Donald Trump is because he wants to dismantle the American healthcare system. Okay, look, I get it. there's going to be a whole lot of people that call me racist for this, but the guy in the turban needs to pick a lane here.
I have this stupid reverb. Twos go full toes. I'm having issues.
Let's get back to, all right, let's just, Sean's going to be gone. Good riddance. I mean, I just got to move over to this. This is Jagmeet Singh going full Jagmeet Singh. This is probably the stupidest thing that he's ever done, and that's saying a lot. This was just this week. This was 2 days ago.
Show them that we're ready. We're ready to fight. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Notice the woman in the wheelchair beside him, folks. He's getting everybody, all 17 people in Saskatoon, all hyped up to show their support for Jagmeet Singh, including the woman in the wheelchair.
Hey, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
They are literally, he's leading them in a jump for joy. A jump for joy while he stands next to a woman in a wheelchair. This is like if House of Pain had fetal alcohol syndrome. All right? And you don't even need the whole song. You could just leave them right at the start. Pack it up, pack it in. This guy is fucking done. Word to your moms, I came to drop bombs. I got more taxes than the Bible's got Psalms. This is Jagmeet Singh, folks. You can't even make this up.
Be the cost.
And it's getting so bad that even the people who historically protect him are pointing out how poorly attended his rallies are and how people aren't really getting behind him.
Of your support. And as well, we've seen you do policy announcements like this. We've seen you meet with unions, workers, campaign volunteers. But so far this week, I haven't seen a single supporter at any of your events. Why is that?
Wow. That is something. Not a single supporter. Everybody going to these events. I mean, the last one included, I assume, I'm not sure. Maybe that lady was just stuck there and she couldn't leave. She was at the last, whatever was there before that, some coffee and breakfast or something, and she couldn't leave. And so she had to just stay there during the NDP rally. But I'm guessing there was a couple people there who supported them. But this is his election. The wheels have fallen off of the bus. It's been an absolute train wreck. Here's them. This is all this week, folks. This is just the NDP just this week. New Democrats are prepared to use our power to tackle the housing crisis by implementing national rent control and building 3 million homes. Wow. All right, so Mark Carney last week said he was going to build 500,000 homes a year, which over 4 years would be 2 million homes. This is 50% more, so that would be 750,000 homes a year, which would be triple the most our country has ever built in a year. And presumably he wants to do it with unionized labor. There's no fucking way that's going to happen. But then also you have this situation where he wants to institute rent control. Read Economic Facts and Fallacies, folks. Thomas Sowell, he talks about the 2 highest rent places in the United States. San Francisco, New York, the 2 most rent-controlled places. He talks about how real estate is at its cheapest in Texas, where there is almost zero regulation. The more regulations there are, the more things cost. Look at the fact that the red tape in BC for housing construction on individual units has gone up in 6 figures over the past decade. This is exactly the best way to ensure that nobody has anywhere to live. The only people excited about this announcement are Mountain Equipment Co-op and the factories at Coleman that build the tents that they sell. Those people are like, this is great. We need to get the NDP as leader of this whole country. We won't be able to make enough tents for everybody to live in. And everybody else fairly is looking at this and saying it's just about the stupidest thing he's ever done, and he just tried to do jump around with a woman in a wheelchair. Sean is back.
I hope. No, I don't know. I got this stupid reverberation. What is going on this side?
I don't know. Have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in again?
Technology frustrates me, folks.
All right. Well, maybe you should put a tariff on bad audio connections.
I guess.
Why don't you try and switch out that XLR cable you stole from me? Maybe that one. Maybe that one would work.
So you think so? I hope this is working. I tell you what, there's nothing more frustrating than trying. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And then, anyways, doesn't matter. Whatever. Stupid
All right.
machine.
So
I missed all of the NDP. Are not a serious party. Where are we at?
Well, we're about to hit tariffs. So we got tariffs on 2 countries in the world. Lisa says you're working now.
I know, but I can. Yeah, right. I can hear it again. So we'll see what everybody says.
Oh, it just echoes when sharing the screen.
Oh, check.
Is it better now?
Is it better now? Is it better now? Is it better now? Oh, that's weird. You're right. Yeah, I can.
Okay, well, when
I won't talk when he shares the screen. All right, we've got to figure out what a stupid thing going on StreamYard.
All right, so I think we're just going to leave the screen sharing on for the time being. So what we've got going on right now is
what an ass. You're such an happy Friday. This is what I get up for, you know?
So yeah, Canada and China are the only 2 countries in the world that implemented reciprocal tariffs against the U.S. And so he's offering concessions and a 90-day pause to every country that the tariffs were proposed against, with the exception of China and Canada. Now, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that when you and China are the only countries in the world doing something, it's probably fucked up. And it's not going to make us buy less fucking American shit. This, by the way, is a Hey Y'all, a hard iced tea from the United States of America. All right. So, what did we learn from this, Sean? Well, apparently, skating around with your elbows up all game lands you in the fucking penalty box.
I'm so nervous to talk right now. I'm like, is Two's going to pull up a screen? Is he going to start reverb? I know it isn't, folks. And Two's is just loving this, right? On his side.
Oh, I think
Why is it
glorious.
he shows the screen and it reverbs on me? I can see Vesper trying to explain to me what a jackass.
Trying to explain to you what? Sorry, Sean. What are you trying to what's Vesper trying to explain? You guys have no idea how good it feels to have this power.
This is my nightmare today.
I'm sorry, it's what? All right. So, next one.
I'm just going to leave right now.
Sean,
you sure? You sure?
Yeah.
You're going to be an ass?
Positive.
You're going to keep bringing it up?
Wouldn't dream of it.
Let's switch to the media. Are you sure?
Okay, well, I guess I'm going to read the headlines then. All right.
No.
I'll read the headlines. You go full Sean afterwards.
CT.
I just said I was good. That wasn't me.
Tell what you're doing right now. You're doing this like weird thing, and if you've been along for 153 mashups, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Twos is being twos right now, and I don't like it, and I have no control over it, which makes it even worse. Okay, media, CT. Okay, Carney spoke to a crowd of 1,000 people at the Red and White Club. The organizers say the venue's capacity couldn't accommodate the roughly 3,000 who RSVP'd. Twos, could you show us the venue, please?
Well, it's funny you should mention it, Sean. And I guess I'm going to have to do this solo. But Red and White Club, 1833 Crowchild Trail Northwest. Capacity info by setup style. Theater, 742. Reception, 900.
Oh, wait. I figured it out. I'm back. Woo! All right. This just got better on this side. Yes. Carry on, twos. Carry on. And screw you. Screw them with me, bucko. We're back. Let's do this.
Okay. So Mark Carney, his numbers say that they had an event that had more people in it than can actually fit inside the building. He had it at a center for ants, and he said it was full of beetles.
Sure.
And so this is the funny thing, though, is you look at this article. Carney makes campaign stop at Calgary, addresses 1,000 at Red and White Club. Now, compare this to the coverage, which was like literally up in the tens thousands, 10 of thousands. Okay. This was the Edmonton rally headline from same CTV News. Former PM Harper praises Poilievre's experience ascent in Edmonton rally. And the funny thing is, I saw Courtney Theriault talking about this online. That's a dude, believe it or not. And he's in the mainstream media. And he said that the numbers were bolstered by having Stephen Harper there. Interesting thing, though, nobody actually knew Stephen Harper was going to be there, presumably except the organizers and him, until it actually happened. I was going to try and get out of work early enough to go to it, and then that didn't work out. Generally, whenever you try and get out of work early, it means you end up staying extra ass late, and that's exactly what happened. And so I didn't go, and I didn't know it was going to be there. I didn't know he was going to be there, but they don't talk about things the same. It's almost as though the media, which gets hundreds of millions of dollars of subsidies, has a horse in this race, an agenda, if you will. They don't talk about this is Chrystia Freeland's event that she just did. There are
29 people.
14, 29 people.
That's what Ezra said.
Not including you and your 3 staff.
Correct.
Okay, 29 people, all old white people, and some lady at the far end with glasses so thick that they look thick from here, even though it's like from 40 feet away. 29 people. All right. I don't want to cover that. How the CBC covers a conservative crime announcement versus how they cover a liberal crime announcement. Here's the CBC on Poilievre. Poilievre tries to draw voter attention to violent crime as Trump concerns dominate. Now let's hear what they have to say about Mark Carney. Carney announces sweeping plan to crack down on crime, strengthen the border. Now, you may remember that as being him trying to say that he was going to pass a law that had been on the books for the last 40 fucking years. No mention of that. Look at this. This is I'm going to go off on this little bit of a tangent. And Sean can't talk right now. So I guess if you don't like it, just let me know.
I certainly can talk right now. Yeah, I'm back, twos, but hey.
So Judy says, at a conservative campaign news conference, reporters in Sault Ste. Marie are penned in within a space about 8 meters across and 8 meters deep in a parking lot that's wide open. 8 meters by 8 meters? That's 64 square meters. I have no idea what that is in square feet, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty big. That's just about like a joint by a joint for anybody who knows oil field stuff. And then here's her complaining about it. She says, here we go. 4 reporters pre-selected for questions for Pierre Poilievre. 2 local journalists, 1 from Canadian Press and 1 from Franco Press. And then if you go down to this, she is complaining. But at this point, I yell out my question about Pierre Poilievre's refusal to get a security clearance. I'm yelling because I'm 25 meters from the conservative leader without access to a microphone. He doesn't take follow-up questions. Mr. Poilievre then calls me a protester. And she's complaining about how she's been treated in this, which also she says in this thread that this is her first time going to one of these. So she goes to one of these for the first time, is complaining that she's not allowed to ask questions. And then when she just starts yelling at him from the press gallery and he doesn't take her question, she presents it as though it's a him problem and not a her problem. And then if you look at these quote tweets, you've got a whole lot of people treating reporters like caged animals. Imagine how much worse it will be if he is elected. Shameful behavior. Come on. Are conservatives worried the reporters will bite? And here you go. That's where you hacks belong. He knows they're not going to cover them honestly. They haven't been covering them honestly for years. They're continuing to not cover him honestly in this, right? So if you want to have an honest conversation about how media is being treated, and you only care about it when it's Globe and Mail and not when it's been True North or Rebel or Juno or the Counter Signal or whatever else, if you've been silent this whole fucking time and now you're mad because it's your guy that it's happening to, sit the fuck back, because there's nothing on there's plenty of things that are autistic about you, but there's nothing authentic about you. And more in the media. Canadians impacted by extreme weather want federal parties to prioritize climate issues. And then it goes on to talk about this woman who has had hail damage 4 times in 2 years or some stupid shit like that, because she lives in the northeast of Calgary, where the houses are literally like 4 or 6 feet apart from each other. You could literally, if you had any bit of motivation, you could just hang a little, you could have it on hinges. You just have a bunch of particle board on hinges that you just fold up and lock into place, and it would block every bit between your house and the next house. And the worst you'd have to worry about is the shingles. But none of them do this. They're all just complaining about how the extreme weather and climate change is wrecking their house. And there's never any self-reflection on, should I have bought in this particular place? Or could I have done anything to mitigate the completely expected weather that continually happens in the place where I bought this stupid fucking house? Gas prices in Canada seeing one of the biggest drops ever. What's going on? The Liberals got rid of the fucking carbon tax. Are you retarded? Mark Carney targeted by...
You're yelling, Twos.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, I can unmute myself too, you jackass.
I know.
If people saw the games being played behind the scenes here right now, I mean, I guess this is what, somebody said this is what I'm here for, And most Fridays, this is what I'm here for as well. But Twos is playing a lot of games this morning. They're driving me nuts. Carry on with your final headline that you'd like to talk about.
Okay, it's repeated several times, so I'm just going to point out how it's repeated, but not read them all. Mark Carney targeted by Chinese news account on WeChat. Foreign interference watchdog warns. It found 2 instances where the platform suggests news account Yuli Yuliman amplified information about Carney. Now, this is the closest thing to an honest headline, because you have Liberal leader Mark Carney has been targeted by a Chinese state-backed information operator. And then again on CBC. And they keep going with this headline, and then they bury the lead. The lead is they've been targeting him as their preferred candidate that they want to win. Sean's just sitting back. I don't know. Maybe something's broken. He's just sitting there drinking a cup of coffee. I don't even have a chance to drink my hay, y'all. So this is what's happening in the news, is that just in this past week, there are multiple instances of them lying, stretching, hiding the truth. All right. And then this was an interesting breaking news thing. The Modi friends who helped finance Poilievre's leadership campaign. It apparently recently came out that Pierre Poilievre, his leadership campaign, was financed by a bunch of East Indian nationalists, which you'd think makes sense, given the fact that his political opponent, Justin Trudeau, got about 5 million of them to move over here and take over our trucking industry. That does not stretch incredulity.
Spit it out. Come on, Twos.
Oh, now you're back.
Today, Junior.
Now you're back.
Come on.
All right.
Do all this reading, folks. Do all this work to get here, to have Twos mess with me on this side.
I haven't been messing with you for like 20 minutes.
Sure.
All right.
Lie to your friends, not me, okay, Twos? All right?
All right.
I know
So
what you've been doing.
look, just the point of this is that there's completely
propaganda.
unfair...
There's an unfair bias in the media?
Well, yeah. I mean, did you see...
What have we been doing for the last 153 shows?
Did you even see any of
Is
the
this
news
anything
articles?
new?
Did you even see any of the
This
news
thing on?
articles? Hey, just a second. Did you even see any of the articles that talked about how Polyev was doing his campaign tour with Joe?
Did I see these articles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw the ones about Polyev doing his campaign tour with Joe.
No, I didn't.
Joe Mama.
Fucking twos. What are we doing today? You know? Like, I mean, I don't know what I know this is what people tune in for, but I can just imagine somebody tunes in for their first mashup. They're rolling in mashup. I've been hearing lots about this show. And then the first there's problems with the mic, there's problems with this. You're like, what are these two doing? Why do people watch this? This is a tail fire. Every week, folks. This is basically what happens. Back and forth. And the shenanigans going on here are an epic proportion today.
Yep.
And 153, I'm just so happy I figured out what was going on so I could actually say something. So Two's going to talk over me for the entire bloody show. And I'm thankful the Oilers won the other night. So that Two's doesn't have that on me, so he could talk on that. And they didn't unveil some stupid logo or put Mark Carney in a jersey. Because if that had happened, I would have had to have just turned everything off and been done for a week. Instead, I got a reprieve at least from there.
You know, the funny thing is that I wanted to bring
My
up, because we're going to
goodness.
talk about the Capitals in a little bit.
Yes, we are.
And I wanted to bring up the fact that I wanted to congratulate the Edmonton Oilers on not doing anything gay and retarded for 7 straight days.
Yeah. And I mean, the Flames, I mean, you've still held
Like,
on
that's
to
their
a
biggest
shoestring of a hope.
That's their biggest win streak so far this season, Sean.
Yeah, you might not be wrong on that. I'm not. I wish I could show you what I had. I had all this stuff set up, and I had to shut down everything because I thought anyway, it doesn't matter. Twos, carrying on. Let's show the hats, shall we? Let's show the hats.
So this
is
guy,
a story that didn't get talked about in a whole bunch of circles. Let's talk about this one.
all right, this guy got kicked out of a Polyev rally for wearing a "Make Canada Great Again" hat. There's another guy.
I want you to say that one more time so people think this isn't Carney. This isn't Carney.
This is a Polyev rally
In Edmonton, Alberta.
That guy got kicked out for wearing a "Make Canada Great Again" hat. Here's another instance.
I can't hear anything, Twos.
Okay, all right. Well, here's another guy who got kicked out for wearing a "Make Canada Great Again" hat. Now, oh, you had me muted. Stop muting me. How about just stop muting me? Yeah, if you stop muting me, then everything will go fine. All right. So, there's a bunch of people. They're supposed to be our people who are like, well, they didn't make him leave. They just said that he had to just dress appropriately. He had to take that hat off, and then he'd be allowed inside. You know, nobody made you wear a mask anywhere. They just said that if you didn't.
Yeah, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. Show the video, would you? I don't need to hear the long drawn out thought. Let's hear the video, Twos.
With me wearing my blackface
Can
Trudeau
you hear
sweater and this hat, and standing beside each other having a great old time at the Agricom the last time he was here, and everything was just fucking hanky-dorky. But this time they don't want to let me in because they're getting all woke. And you know what? That's not why I came here today. I came here to try to get our country back, not for them buying into this woke bullshit.
All right, I respect it.
So I am the hell out of
You're
here.
gonna take your hat off and join us regardless?
Nope.
No?
Not a chance.
No, but at least, but tell me you're not gonna vote Liberal now.
I'd rather fight than change.
Don't
Yeah. So I get the fact, like, you know, we talk about how Polyev has done a good job of standing up to the legacy media, but at the end of the day, stop fucking muting me.
I can't. I'm muting it. I'm not muting you. I'm muting your screen because every time it's on, I have the reverb. Figure it out, Twos. Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right. Oh, that's how it goes. All right. Now it's making sense. All right. I'm glad you figured it out. I didn't really care.
54 minutes in, he doesn't care and hasn't figured it out. Like, I'm just this story of 153 mashups, folks. Carry on with your train of thought on wearing a hat to a protest. Twos, I'm so invigorated this morning. I went from being so excited to be here, and now you've found a way to piss me off. Carry on.
That's what
Carry
I do.
on.
That's what I do. I'm not here for my
know.
witty
I know.
repartee.
I'm trying to get through a mashup with not losing my mind.
I'm here to
carry
throw
on.
fire
Carry on
this whole thing and
carry
watch it
on. How many times am I going to tell you to carry on?
Once more.
Carry on.
Oh, thanks, Sean. So anyway, the point I'm making here is that we went through a very long period of time where we were all required to, if we wanted to partake in civilized society, do certain things, wear certain things, stand in certain places.
Just put the mask on.
Not a big deal. Just take the hat off. Sure, you can come on in.
You can be unvaccinated. Just get a test that shows
Yeah.
that you're fine. It's
No
all
one's
good.
making you. No one's
not a big
making you
deal.
take the hat off.
What's your problem?
Yeah. So anyway, the point is don't be a hypocrite, because that's what they do, and we expect more of our people.
Correct. That is true. Show the Canadian polls. Let's see some of the polls. I had all this up. It's all gone. So Twos is going to have to pull everything up. And as he complains, we're not going to listen to his complaints. Here,
Canadian
they do
polls,
suck.
and the people who respond to them are garbage. The federal government invoked the Emergencies Act to deal with protests/blockades against restrictions/mandates related to the COVID pandemic. Do you think this action was justified or unjustified? Justified, 55%. Unjustified, 31%. Now, it's interesting that they didn't actually ask the Supreme Court on this, because they ruled it was unjustified. There's literally a Supreme Court ruling on this saying that it was unjustified, and yet there's still 55% of the people responding to these polls. Canada is so divided that nothing is going to bring the country back together. Disagree 63%, agree 33%. I'd be willing to bet that if you ran the demographics, about 63% of people live east of Manitoba. And here's another one. This one's just chef's kiss. Who should get credit for eliminating the carbon tax? You have two choices. Carney or Poilievre. Carney got 55%. Poilievre got 28%. Carney did it when his back was against the wall and his entire party was facing obliteration, an apocalypse level event. Because there's no plan B. There's no planet B. This is the most important thing facing us. We only have 12 years left. We have to stop climate change in its tracks. And the carbon tax is the best way to do that, unless it means we have to update our resumes, in which case we're going to scrap it, because even if it means we don't save the planet, at least we get to be in charge for a few more years.
Yeah, Canada is not a serious country right now. Our polls, at least, are definitely not serious. Another thing not serious, how about, you remember the video of the Sir John A. Macdonald statue, folks, being tore down? You remember that? And everybody applauding, and
Yes.
the
So they
oppressive
spray painted
leaders
it.
we had.
They tied a rope around his neck. They
Correct.
pulled the statue down, and then as it fell, his head got broken off.
So now there's a wooden encasement surrounding the Sir John A. Macdonald statue on the
They set
front
up a
lawn
bunch of
of
plywood.
Queen's Park. Yeah, so it's in a box. You can't see it anymore because, heaven forbid, you see a statue of Sir John A. Macdonald. There it is. Like, it would just be horrific. And so Daniel Tate, 44, of Toronto, was arrested for mischief under 5,000 and released on appearance notice after he spray painted Free John. There it is. So he spray painted Free John, and they
on a
arrested
piece of plywood.
and they arrested him for it.
And he might go to jail for 2 years. How many people got arrested for spray painting the literal fucking statue? 0. How many
0.
people got arrested for tearing it down and ripping its head off? 0. How many people got arrested for burning down the 100 churches? 0. And this guy just writes Free John, which, I mean, he might just be talking about all the homeless people that piss there.
For once, I can't argue with what Two said. Right? I mean, like, you can't make this up. This is the moment of the week, folks, where you're like, You just can't make this up. Like another week for 153 weeks where we find something in Canada where you're like, that can't be real, right? Like, really, folks.
Really?
Another thing that I wasn't so sure this was going to happen. Ovi, he breaks. You mentioned it. Alex Ovechkin breaks Gretzky's career goal record. Here, folks, is number 895.
Try to force it to him if he's open. Here is Ovechkin. Shoots. He scores. He scores.
And so there it is. And then there was some other cool things. Jersey Nerd says, Wayne Gretzky is now 1 goal away from tying Alex Ovechkin's goal record.
Brilliant.
Yes, absolutely. Somebody recreated it with NHL 94, which is just a beautiful callback for anybody who's a big fan of that game, which you all should be if you aren't. And if you aren't, it's because you're too young. Budweiser, in an attempt to be less gay and retarded, sent celebrity cans to goalies who did not get scored on by Ovechkin at any point in their career. They sent Budweiser 0 cans. And so here's a picture of Curtis Joseph showing off his Budweiser can. He faced, I think, 2 shots from Ovechkin in his career and stopped both of them. So good on Cujo. Here's another interesting little thing that's happening in the world of goofy news. The direwolf is back after 10,000 years. The direwolf, which had gone extinct, has now returned. And then the Jurassic World Twitter account says, we see no possible way this could go wrong. Other goofy news. Trans finalists battle for women's pool championship title after defeating all the ladies. This dude competed against this dude, and they're just total opposites of each other. And I get the fact that you're going to have some some appearance issues if you're a fucking ginger, but I don't know if this is the best way to solve it. Growing your hair longer? Maybe not. And then this one looks like the Nickelodeon cartoon character. But anyway, they fought in the finals. Just two dudes. But then here in I'm not going to show the video because the important part is the sound. But female disc golfer.
You can show the sound. No. Show the video.
Right.
Just make. Yep.
All right. Here. Oh.
Females must be protected in our division. This is unfair. I reduce the player.
So she walked off in Nashville during the Music City Open Frisbee golf tournament. And so people are actually finally standing up because this is the only way it stops. I said this the first time that Leah Thompson dude won the swimming competition. I said it will keep going until all the women just say, we're not going to compete against dudes. And then it'll finally stop. And you're starting to see more of it. That should almost be happy news. And then here's another interesting one. We don't need the sound, but a bunch of Seattle Mariners fans, they got a bunch of shirts painted. And then when they ended up on the Jumbotron, they flipped around real quick and it says sell the team. For those of you who don't follow the major leagues very much, the Mariners, I think, have made the playoffs like 4 times in the past 25 years or something. Like, they suck. They're like the Edmonton Oilers of baseball, except less gay.
No, that's not true at all.
Oh, are they more gay?
I'm just talking about where they're sitting at as a franchise right now. We have the greatest player on the planet playing for us, and arguably
and nothing
the second
substantial
greatest.
to show for the last 25 years.
Okay, coming from a Calgary Flames fan. Have fun in the offseason hitting the links here, buddy, real fast, okay? Couldn't pull out a win the other night. We're going to see you guys on the links after we're hoisting the cup, okay? So, move on. KFC introduces, here's happy news for you. KFC introduces fried chicken flavored toothpaste. How is this happy news? Would you brush with fried chicken? Like, come on. Come on.
How is
Toots.
this not happy news?
How
You
is
need to
this
embrace
happy news?
capitalism. Capitalism is a wonderful thing. We
Okay.
have fried chicken.
Are you getting
flavored
fried chicken
toothpaste.
flavored toothpaste?
We
the
have
next time over at
When
Two's house, are you gonna? Is that what you're gonna put in there? Is Mrs. Two's gonna let you have fried chicken toothpaste?
She's from the South. She probably won't be able to stop making out with me if I've got fried chicken breath.
Interesting.
Okay. You go to the grocery store and down the candy aisle, you've got 20 different versions of Reese's Pieces. You got the Reese's Cups, the King Cups, the Pieces, the cups with the pieces built into them. You go to the ice cream aisle, you've got Oreo this and Reese's that. They have Oreo flavored churros now. This is capitalism at its finest. These are the kind of things that you will never see in 80s Poland or Hungary.
You know what my kids use? Watermelon toothpaste. It makes sense. You smell it, you're like, okay, right? Bubble gum, okay. We're talking fried chicken, Twos. Fried chicken. KFC fried chicken. I tell you what, I want to talk to Mrs. Twos after you get some of this put there and see what really goes on. That's what I want, because I think you're full of it.
She's going to get a whiff of the 11 herbs and spices, and she is not going to be able to hold herself back. That call you put out to her, it's going to go straight to voicemail, because we're going to be getting frisky.
Sure. We'll see where this goes. This is a challenge, folks. Twos has got to get some KFC toothpaste and then try and put the moves on Mrs. Twos. And we'll see. We'll hear, Twos.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. It's on.
Tristan
and
Hopper.
It's going to be on.
Tristan Hopper's got a new book coming out, Don't Be Canada. And you know what's funny? He's coming on the podcast, I believe, next week.
What? He keeps ducking my attempts to get him on the show, and then he's coming on just solo with you?
Correct. Yes.
Son of a bitch. Let's not talk about his book after all.
Well, in hopes we have a good rapport, and he comes on the Federal Live coverage stream. That's the hopes.
All right. So anyway, I've been a fan of this guy for a while. I actually subscribed to the National Post, not entirely because of him, but largely because of him. And he just released a book. And here's some of the chapters in it. The easiest country, this is all about Canada and how it's gone way too far in everything.
Correct.
The easiest country to get euthanized, outdoing the Americans at identity politics. The real estate bubble that never ever bursts. I love this one. Harm reduction on crack. The Transing Canada Highway. A whiff of the Orwellian. What if we just stopped jailing criminals? And the world's most expensive free healthcare. He's got away with words, and I quite like it. And then that was supposed to be in the community notes, but thanks for jumping the gun.
Oh, I jumped the gun.
John.
And then Alberta plans to create independent police agency as an alternative option to the RCMP. So the Alberta government wants to create a new provincial police serving a service using about half of the sheriff workforce to other municipalities, an alternative to the RCMP.
That's great news for Alberta. Not great news for the RCMP, but it's great news for Alberta. And the real question is how Twos even finds these. They're in the news. Like I just scroll through what happens in the news and we just talk about it here. This isn't like I have to go down some crazy rabbit hole. 95% of this stuff is just things on my Twitter feed.
Community notes, Twos. What do you got?
Well, Tristan Hopper has a new book out. Would you like to talk about that? Oh, wait, you already did.
Oh, and you know what? I'm getting a free copy sent to me, too.
You son of a bitch. I just bought a copy.
Well, you know what's funny? I get like 10 minutes of airtime today because Twos was messing with me, and then I had to go do some things and whatever else. I don't want to talk about it, although I am talking about it. So, yeah, I'm getting a free book.
Talk about it.
And it sounds like Tristan Hopper's coming on the show. So beat it, buddy. That's going to be fun. Okay? And maybe, just maybe, I'll invite him onto the federal live election coverage, and we'll follow along with your dreams and hopes. Maybe. If you're lucky. Okay? If you play nice. If you don't.
Sorry, if I don't what?
If you, I can see what you're doing. I don't like it. I don't like it, Twos. If you keep this up.
If I keep what up? Sean?
She who will not be named will be our only guest for 12 freaking hours on election, and you'll have to suffer through it. You know what you're doing? You're making it so I want to get her on even more. I'm going to find a way to make this happen to spite you. That's what's happening right now. Other things going on in community notes. May 10th in Calgary, Alberta. That guy will be in attendance at the Cornerstone Forum. You should be in attendance at the Cornerstone Forum. And a whole bunch of others. I mentioned Chuck Product and Jamie Sinclair are going to be here on Monday. They'll be in attendance.
Yeah.
Chris Sims, guest of the show, recurring guest of the show. She'll be in attendance. I was just talking to Chris Barber. We were talking about him last week. We and him had a phone call earlier this week. He's going to be in attendance.
Is he going to bring his truck? Is he bringing Big Red?
Working on it. Possibly.
All right, because that would be pretty cool.
Hey, Renee just got my ticket the other day.
Yeah.
Rock on. Sweet.
Yeah. Murray Henderson says AGM Buffalo Party of Saskatchewan in Estevan tomorrow.
And here in Lloydminster, we're having a For the Kids' Sake meeting on Monday night, 7 p.m., talking about Alberta independence. So if you're in the area, that should be an interesting night as well. So that's coming up here Monday.
It is. Also, just a side note, Vesper says best NHL goalie of all time, Patrick Waugh. Quebec, prove me wrong. Well, you know what? Anybody who wears 4x8 plywood and pretends that it's your goalie pads, they're going to be the best goalie of all time anyway.
I would argue Martin Brodeur. Just saying, Vesper. I would probably say Martin Brodeur. Although, in fairness, a guy that I think if you go into the arguments of goaltenders, Dominic Hasek. I was thinking Dominic Hasek, but he's kind of lost his mind, which sucks because you're just like, I used to think he was so awesome, and now he's dumb. Here's another note for the podcast.
To the face.
This coming week, the Brothers Roundtable returns for the next couple months as the NHL playoffs are getting near. We're going to be doing a weekly show. My older three brothers come on, so the four of us have the Brothers Roundtable, and we argue sports. So Vesper, I might just bring this up with them because we argue about these things all the time, and that's going to be coming back. I know I've been a bunch of different people have been reaching out to me, wanting it back, wondering when it comes. It happens in the season of the playoffs, the NHL playoffs. The Brothers come back, so that's coming this week as well.
Well, I told you like 600 episodes ago that the Brothers Roundtable was like my favorite thing that you did.
You notice how Tuz always says that he always tells me things and it's always his idea. Here's another one. Hey, it's favorite thing. Sure, Tuz.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's like what I told you should do a Cornerstone for him.
Mashup 153. I tell you what,
I'm joking about that, but I was serious about the Brothers Roundtable.
To frustrating. Either way, folks,
I was on a high the whole time.
I know you were. I know you were, Tuz. I'm happy for you. I'm really happy. On Mashup 153, we could get full twos for almost a full hour and 12 minutes. Either way, folks, this is what happens every Friday, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're here. Tuz does this to me every single time. The entire audience is for it. They encourage it. So I blame all of you for this because this is what he thrives off of. It's all your fault. And we're back here every Friday. We make sure to have a little bit of fun. On April 28th, we're putting together our lineup for a do I get to announce how long we're going for? Are we talking about that yet?
You've literally mentioned it like 4 times already today.
Well, we're going for 12 hours. So buckle up, folks. Buckle up, Canada. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yep. And April 28th, we're going to be rolling along. So we hope you'll mark that in your calendars as well. And otherwise, Tuz, we'll be back in a week's time. Anything else before I let everybody?
That's it, buddy. Here? We'll see you later.
All right, folks. Till next week. Cheers.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Tell me whether I'm wrong or right. East or west, up or down, side to side. I sit to stand and fall to fly. Of all of my impulsive plans, popping, locking, salsa dances on demand. I follow leading off the map and stop the chatter, scream happily.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Welcome to the Mashup. Welcome to the